ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Brickoligist Animations podcast show, where I often tackle many topics often to do with the new Avengers saga, Sonic the Hedgehog, TLSMS and the further SCU, the amateur animators, my friends, and much, much more. So sit back and enjoy this episode of the podcast show. Well, yeah. Hello again, guys. I know it's been a while since I did my last podcast. Like, I know I did a few there together as of recently. Like, I had the one with George, and I had done one myself twice, I think. So, yeah, it's yeah, it's been a while, but not too long anyway. So yeah, I'm just giving you guys a little update. That's all. Like what state my channel's in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the pod. Well, yeah. So I've had my exams as of recent over here in Ireland. So I've been busy focusing on them. Yeah, to say the least. And no, they've gone well. They've gone well. They've gone pretty well, to say the least. Actually, I can have no complaints. I'd say anyway. And I've a few left, but I don't really. I'm not concerned about it. Like I think I should do just fine, to say the least. Like, or if not the best I can. So yeah, I'm happy enough with my exams and the way they're going at the minute. Yeah, but I sure can't wait. Once the exams are over, lads, I'm going straight into the crossover with New Avengers and Sonic TLSMS, The Conquest of Kang. So yeah, should we? I suppose I should talk about my recent videos. So, firstly, starting off with the Tales project. Um, Firstly, guys, I'd actually like to thank you all for 139 views on it. That's it's not bad for not an episode of TLSMS. So a big cheers to you guys for that. um, but yeah, I can't say a whole lot else other than I am happy enough with the way it turned out. But if I can say anything, lads, the real hamburger and I, like, our plan that we developed for the SCU last year has really, really come to fruition. And while Underground didn't do so, everything else honestly has, season two of TLSMS, the Tales project. Underground is making a comeback as well, actually. So there is a lot that's gone right, and the crossover is happening as well. So you know what? Since I don't have much to talk about my other videos, I might as well just talk about the crossover. So yeah, I don't know what to say, lads. How did I ever even get to this stage, like, where I'd have two massive franchises side by side along with each other coming together for one big event? Like, it's actually, it's kind of crazy, to say the least, that they're finally getting to collab with each other. And now I will say, it hasn't entirely, like, my original plan hasn't entirely come true. But, like, for just to have the new Avengers and the Sonic Squad, it's pretty good, to say the least. So I wonder, should I give you guys? I should probably give you guys a synopsis, because I'm probably not gonna get the time, to write one. So I should probably give it to you from myself right now. So anyway, Sonic. So it's the new Avengers and the Sonic Squad crossover, the Conquest of Kang. So this follows straight after the events of New Avengers 4 in the New Avengers Saga universe, and Sonic the Hedgehog TLSMS, A Battle for the Ages, and the Tales Project, which were the last of the SEU, respectively. And it finds our crews both on this strange combination of a world where it seems to have half their world, but half the other world, like like half New Avengers, the half the Sonic TLSMS world. And because of this is essentially wiped out, let's say, half the population. So key characters like Dr. Eggman, Ruan, Pepper, Morgan, War Machine, Nick Fury, they've all been wiped out practically because the world's combining, it can only be 50% and 50%. So the New Avengers and the Sonic Squad have to figure out why they're on the world in the first place, and what does the evil tyrant Kang with his fellow assistant Nine want to do to take over the multiverse. So yeah, it's I'm not gonna go on much more there, but to say the least, lads, it's an action-packed film. I know I've spoiled you with those recently, haven't I? Between New Avengers 4, TLSMS, A Battle for the Ages, and now this. Well, all I'll say is that you guys can't complain to me when you're getting the battle films. But anyway, that's enough said about the battle. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if it's gonna be my best film ever, but all I want it to be, is just a really good film. Like, if I could get it maybe better than New Avengers 4, or slightly better than TSMS, The Battle for the Ages, I'd be happy enough with that. Like, I'm not really wanting to push my standards this year. Like I think, with the way the channel is, lads, thank you guys for that. That my channel's so healthy, it's doing well. I'm on the journey to 200 subscribers. So by the way, lads, if you'd be willing to sub to me, those new around here, I'd greatly appreciate it on my journey to 200, and my greater journey to 1,000 at that. But anyway, I yeah. What was I saying again before that? But yeah, what I was essentially saying, lads, is that while while I do want it to be a really good film, I'm not trying to push it over Lima, because the channel's just such in good health, and I'm in such good health. Like, I'm still rated very highly among the amateur animators, and yeah. I'm just so thankful that I don't really have to push anything, because just the channel's doing so well. And now, guys, I do promise you, I will give you something better than Lima at one point. Like, I will at least try to. And the crossover might even be that for some of you. Like, but look, we'll just see what happens, guys. And if nothing really that special happens, it's fine. It's fine. But look, if it is good, then I'm glad you guys are all here right with me. So yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Is that all I can really say? Like, about my channel. That I've talked about the Tales project. I've talked about the crossover. I've talked about my 200 journey. Yeah. You know what? In other news. So yeah, in other news, it's pretty good. So I suppose I should update you on the awards polls, just to see how they're going. So let's just check in it here. So firstly, the new Avengers poll. Lego Iron Man Irish Hero is currently leading with 64% of the vote. Then it is followed closely by New Avengers 4, which has 27% of the vote. And finally, in third place, it's Lego Iron Man Target Bullseye with 9% of the vote. And lastly, absolutely nowhere, is Daredevil just deserved with a sense of you, it's at 0%. So yes, that's New Avengers. Then for my best friend slash sub film, I have Harry Hill. So I'll start from the bottom with this one. The Aardman Show, Episode 1 at 5% of the vote. Harry Hill 2 at 10% of the vote. Thor, God of Thunder of the LMCU is 24% of the vote. And finally, Hawkeye, His Last Bow is 61%. And finally, TLSMS lads. So Echoes of Fear 0%, Echoes of Freedom is at 13%, and Knuckles 25%. And lastly, A Battle for the Ages with 63%. So to say the least, lads, the polls are probably going just as well as I expected them to. Yeah, I'd say they're probably that's kind of what I want. Like, I think if I will say anything, lads, the New Avengers and TLSMS polls have already been decided. Like Lima and A Battle for the Ages are both winning, and even the best friend one. It seems pretty likely now that Golden Flyer's gonna win it. So, yep, and that's the awards polls. What else can I talk about? Amateur animators, lads. It's if I do say so myself, in my opinion, it's going very well. Like, let's talk about it. Stevil White Eyed Wrath. Now, I had George on the show, like I said, a few weeks ago, and the way he was just talking, like he never told us much about this, but when we saw it, lads, it's to say the least, it's in my opinion one of the greatest films that's ever come from the group. Like, it's a top five film. Like, I couldn't say there was much better than it. And the fact that, Hamburger is nowhere to be seen on the top five, now, or even top seven, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I just think that speaks to the quality of Stevil White Eyed Wrath. Like, it was one of the best edited films I've seen, since for a while. Like, that's honestly. So yeah, and to say the least as well, lads, I'm very sorry that I could actually. You know what? I'll tell George here myself. George, if you're watching this, I'm so very, 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 quite indeed sorry that Steve White Eyed Rash didn't qualify for the best friend slash sub film, because I think you would have absolutely trounced the category with the quality. So, yeah, George, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can give it some award, but look, if you don't mind, then it's all right in my opinion. So, yeah, that's Stevil White Eyed Rat, lads. Just, an all around brilliant film. I'd highly recommend those watching it, like, to get it above the first Peter the Pan film. It's on Amateur Animators, and I'll mention the channel down in the description so you can check it out for yourselves. Right, that's the Amateur Animators, lads. What else? I mean, the lads are cooking up a few ideas. Like, I know George and the Real Hamburger are. Although I can't exactly say what ideas they're cooking up, because I don't think that'd be very kind to spoil it for you guys, or even them more so. So yeah, there's a few ideas cooking up in the group, all right. Like, but nothing like to be overly hyped about, other than Armin Universe, which is coming up by Cheesy X, and yeah, New Avengers 4. So, not New Avengers 4, the crossover. So yeah, I'm just trying to think that I don't really have a whole lot left to talk about. So, you know what, lads, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Brickoligist Animations Show podcast. So, yeah, I'll let you know how my exams go in the next podcast episode. Hopefully, I am looking to get another guest onto the podcast because I do think that those episodes are the best where I'm interviewing someone. So please, even to those watching this, I don't care if I've interviewed you or not before. If you want to make a return onto the podcast show, the podcast, go for it. Just please, I'm all here. I'm all ears. Would you you can come on it if you want. So yeah, I mean, other than that, lads, thank you guys for your support. In my Tails video, TLSMS, thank you for all your support as always. With my channel, um, let's say thank you for your votes on the polls because they really do count. And I mean, other than that, lads, comment down below what you thought of this episode. Comment down below whether you want to be on the show next time or not. And other than that, lads, well, I suppose that's the end of the Brickologist Animation Show. Hold a second there. That's going on. Hold a second. So it's the Brickologist Animation Show. Okay, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye.